do this sadhana, the phala is what you get as a Jnana Yoga. That means when you go around the mountain, it is a religious process we are not doing. We are doing what? We are doing a sacred walk, we are doing a pilgrimage to the sacred places. This creates an effect, the architecture, the entire structure creates an effect on your body. That all these bad tendencies which is created out of nama and rupa, the satya rupa, the world, moves out. So the perfect healing, you know, it is said, if you go and read Rudra Jajana, they say in our Hindu system, Rudra is called or understood as the perfect physician, the best of the physician. He does the best of the healing. How? He takes out samsara from you. Means he takes out this entire club of name and form which is continuously probleming you, he takes away. So he takes away all these ajnana vrittis from you and gives jnana vrittis. So all this attachment to name and form goes away. And fundamentally this can happen with the question, who am I? It's a very powerful question. Because if you ask, like you ask with, what is this form? What is this form? What is this form? Now you turn this question back and they say that, what is this form? What is this name and what is this form? Who is looking to whom? So this is the essence of Jnana Yoga. You cannot do this inquiry. It becomes an intellectual inquiry until you do this, this Girivalam, because of the reason you need support of other saints who have done this path, travel this path. Their blessings is required. So then you can understand the essence of it. That's why here is the method that you first do it, then you gain the understanding. So because this is the highest, even in Karma Yoga, even if you see the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the Jnana Yoga comes as a last step. First a man has to do Karma Yoga. He has to work and he has to purify his body. Then he has to do Bhakti Yoga. That means he purifies emotion. Then the advanced stage is Jnana Yoga. That means his intellect gets a direction. So that's why if you go to the course and if you look at it, you will say we have told always that only intermediate and advanced participants should come. Many people who have come who have not a basic understanding of yoga. So, once they cannot sustain that ontity thing, because this is a very, you have to do the karma, then you have to clear the body, then you have to do the bhakti, purify emotion, then only you can get jnana. Now, if you jump on the path, you cannot do that. So basic people, we are not asking basic people to come because basic people would require that training. Even the people who have done a lot of courses, we are giving preparatory program just to make their mind in a proper state.
Cool. I understand. It is clear.
Yes, that's so. And
it is clear in the when you read the program. It is for me. It was really clear.
And that it is not for a basic people. It is not for the people who have just done a basic yoga program and just jumped in the program. He cannot understand what is the program all about. Because he has to go this and then. So people when they come Tiruvannamalai, it's like an highest path of yoga. Everything you need to do sadhana to become a great yoga teacher is here. But you have to do the basics. You have to complete the basics, then you can come here. Otherwise you cannot stay here. The energy is too strong here. It continuously asks you to do sadhana. It continuously gets you to do it. So this energy, if you are becoming with this energy, everything is an intent. You can become an international teacher, that is the same intent. If you become a basic yoga teacher, that is the same intent. Now, if you have the highest form energy, you will use that energy in that form. No, this is where people gets into problem if he doesn't comes with preparation, if he doesn't have that yoga background. You have that yoga background, he has that yoga background. That's why you could continue up to this extent. Otherwise, you would be having the same kind of problem which others are having. This is important because this takes you all name and form from you. So it's not easy to go around name and form and ask, what is this name? What is this form? What is this name? What is this form? The whole world seems to be a Maya, a play of Maya. So that kind of understanding, to come into that understanding, a person has to do a lot of austerity.
Of?
Austerity, that means cleaning himself, cleaning from the bad tendency, coming out. So, from today to the next 38 days, the path becomes more inner.
Mm.
Right? You went to the outer, keep talking to people, understanding, interacting, hey, these. Now, this is what to gain a little bit of grounding to the people, culture here. Right? So, otherwise, what happens? You have energy conflict. So that's why interaction was required. After that interaction is over, you can come here. Here, like, you get silence. Here the method of teaching is silence. In fact, if you go after 10 days when I bring you, or after when I bring you, I keep quiet and you keep quiet. You do your meditation, I do my meditation. The whole thing comes on silence. And more you do Surya Yoga, because Surya Yoga is a process which has been given me from here, your clarity come, because this is the spiritual side of Surya Yoga, right? What you do Jnana Yoga is like a spiritual side, and physical comfort, this that is the physical side. Surya Yoga has two portions, because I have got it from here. The Surya Yoga is a path which was given by Dakshinamurti. Out of 108 paths, a person can reach to final liberation. So once you practice, your body becomes more and more ready, you know, to accept this huge energy, as he was telling very rightly, that sometimes this conflict can come up. There can be huge pain. So Surya Yoga makes you ready, that you can absorb the energy. This is a very, Arunachala's energy is very, very high. The power is very, very high. Because this power is of oneness. People comes from all, as you can see, people teachers, as I saw yesterday also, we are talking, as the teacher you were talking with, he was lacking energy and he came here and gained energy. So this is the kind of thing it is. So that's why you need a lot of preparation to come here, right? And once these, you go to the essence of Jnana Yoga, this Sattarupa starts moving from your consciousness. So Sattarupa means the name Nama Rupa starts moving your consciousness. Then what? Then inquiry comes into it. You cannot force the inquiry. You will sit down and close your eyes and you will see that inquiry coming to you, arising from you. Now, anyway you force that who am I, this is like an intellectual stuff. But the inquiry would spontaneously come from you. Right? So who am I is not that, it is not an academic discipline. Many people would like to talk out because many scholars have worked on it, but it's not an academic discipline. Ramana's own experience is that he wanted to experience death. If you go here, you write on there, Ramana's own experience of how he got the who am I principle is written. He was experimenting death, experimenting with death, and he find then even if the body dies, there is something which remains, right? So he is trying to take you out of the body consciousness. What Ramana is telling here philosophically, you can experience that in going around Arunachala. That means that's a practical thing. Ramana's philosophy is like gives you an understanding of what you do there. Because he gives a clarity that it is not a religious process. Arunachala is not a religious thing. He points out that when you go the first point of path up to Adi Annamalai we go, that is where your Deha Dehi Buddhi goes out. Means your body intellect, which is required, continuous body requirement will continuously come, body needs will continuously come and disturb you. So that goes out. Once that goes out, then you can go into the essence of Jnana Yoga. So that is very important. So until unless you do that austerity, you would be fully occupied with body's need. The mind will not turn inward. and more you will do with these austerity. Even I used to do inner walk. Inner walk, your hunger goes away. Inner walk is a path which goes around. They close that path. For days, I don't used to feel hungry. I don't used to feel any need to do anything. People who walks, lives there, they don't have, because inner walk is a path where the body consciousness doesn't exist. It's deep in Arunachala. That means if you go deep in the forest, on the deep in the forest, there is no body consciousness. You will not find you are a body. You have become one.
But I read that Ramana did meditate for 1 year and he was not moving, so people had to feed him because otherwise he would die. So he didn't need.
The body needs a.
But the body to live needs a.
Because that point of time, Sheshadri gave some food to him. They had understanding, but this was like, if you look at Ramana's life, that's why we wanted to go on to all this side. He did a tremendous austerity. He was 10 years, he was sitting on this Vidbraksha cave, not even opening his eyes. So that kind of austerity was required to go to the deepness of jnana. It's not an entertainment. It's an enlightenment. Is not entertainment. There is two differences. These, when you come there, when you receive that jnana, all kinds of health, wellness, happiness remains with you. But the path to get there, it's an effect. But the path to get there, the cause, is a very delicate, stepwise sadhana. And that's why, the teachings here which you receive, the teachings were received in silence. That the purity of the teaching does not get affected. That you can understand what the teaching is all about. So people sits down quietly. Even more you go, deeper you go, the talks are not required at all. Because the dialogues are inward. Dialogues are from you to your soul. Talks will intervene the dialogues, will create different perception which will stop the dialogue. So that's why the true essence of this who am I is a question which rises from you. It's not you impose a question. It's not you read something and then you put that thought into yourself. You will sit, meditate, and you will find different thoughts coming up. And there is a question which will rise up. It might rise in a very different way. But for me, it was like that. Who is it who is thinking it? So this question is not for a person to ask, It's just when it rises up, all these thoughts rise up, you ask yourself, who is it who is thinking it? Then you go beyond the thought. And you understand from where this thought rises. That is the essence of this teaching. This teaching itself is a grace. That means when you go in this state, when you can see the root of it, then what happens? It takes you in a process called sahajanishta. You are automatically provided everything what you require for your sadhana. The sahajanishta is the path of grace. We call it sunlit path. When you are connected with the energy, everything what you require, you don't have to put projection into I need this, I need this. It comes to you. You become one with the universal energy. So what? As and when whatever you put desire, it manifests. So you desire health, it manifests. You desire happiness, it manifests. You desire wellness, it happens. But people, when they go in the state, this requirement even vanishes for them. Their requirement for health, their requirement for happiness, the requirement, they say that they are automatically given that. Why do I have to want it? So that's often what happens is that when you are aligned to the universal force, you see, it is like you come into a flow. Then everything what you happen to it is like an synchronization. It's like you are destined to a synchronization. What you intend on your life, you are just an observer. you observe that everything is like synchronized towards what you have intended to start with. This is how universe works. Universe is fulfilling all that you are, all that you are made for. Your intentions, deep intentions are always, will be always fulfilled. But what we have put so much bad tendency with the understanding of name and form that we get clogged up. We cannot align with the universal force. And it is said this is an universal energy field. You can find only here this field, and there is one another in Kailasha, and there is on South America there is one place called Peru. So this is the three places in the world where you have universal energy field. So if you do sadhana, you actually go across and you can go and see references. You actually go across the universal forms of energy.
Is it possible that there is people that are already are naturally connected like this, like without knowing about any form of meditation or things like this, that are like if they had the grace already and they just live it, they just live with it?
There are two kinds of liberation. One kind of liberation is called gradual, which you're trying to practice. The other is spontaneous. Some people who have done very good karma on their last lifetime, they get the liberation very spontaneously. For Ramana, it was like he got his liberation spontaneously. But then to get that state, to come to teaching state, even if he is liberated, he has to do a lot of sadhana before he came and could make others experience that state. So you can always, there is also one king which is named as Janaka, whose reference you find in Yoga Vashishta. In Yoga Vashishta, King Janaka received spontaneous liberation. He just listened some song and it liberated him. So those kind of people are there, but they are very few. But it is possible to get spontaneous liberation. For us, it is important to go through the gradual process.
Yeah.
Because we cannot move up the bad tendencies. Otherwise, you have to do, you go inside the mountain. There are many people tries that way also. They goes up, lives everything. They wanted to go out of the body consciousness. They live everything and they totally live, meditate for their 20, 30 years. There are caves you will find, people put underground caves and people go. Also, this kinds of thing also is there. Neither I don't, because I have seen many people done that. Probably they are like doing this for different, if you really want to be, if you really have many things to cover up, many things to hear, then you can do that intense meditation. It depends all upon you, your path if it is. Because somebody can do it and somebody need to stay with people, teach people. Somebody doesn't like people, goes inside and sits down in the cave. They don't like to be disturbed. So there are different kinds of sadhana. So the idea is that, if in the 10 days we have come, now we have come to the, it's like we have come in a structure. We have understanding the essence of Jnana Yoga, right? Now, these at the same time, sometimes this place is also, if you look at Arunachala, they say the Shiva Linga is where Shiva is sleeping. It's like Shiva's mood, it's sleeping. So, here you will see the sleep part is very different here. If you really do a little small, process like we have seen, and we have given a Nidra instruction, you can, by the sleep, you can have a glimpse of the deep reality, deep sleep. So people gets into deep sleep, and it is said the Ramana, when in the childhood, when he used to sleep, he didn't used to have any body consciousness. People used to do anything, but he was not. So sleep is another tool you can use, sometimes. So just following, sitting down, these are two important plans because sleep comes to you spontaneously. Only that it doesn't have to be no much instructed, a small instruction. Nidra Yoga is a small instruction. Just to put a light music, just to observe your breath, and just to go on a sleep. You can use the sleep for achieving higher level of consciousness. So one aspect is jnana, which you continuously try, and then one aspect is sleep, which you continuously go inside and try out. So sleep is not something where we completely instruct. We don't instruct. We say small instruction, you sleep, and you see your experience what is coming. But the jnana yoga we continuously instruct up to the level when you start understanding the core concept, because there are many small concepts. And once you understand the core concepts of it, then we stop. And most of the time, the end of the program goes on completely on silence. It's like then no more instructions are not required. It's just you stay in silence. So we wanted to get to that state where this name and form, like a ripe fruit, drops from your mind. It has no importance to you. That's where we start. Nitya, Anitya, Viveka, Vichara. We start from there where this thing has no importance. It's like a ripe fruit, it falls down. So this name and form are not there. Your mind is connected to the vast consciousness. And with that connection, every kind of healing, every kind of intent spontaneously manifests. So our job is to take you there. Now, you don't have to go that this therapy is an automatic thing. It's not that you have to define it. Therapy means what? An application of the consciousness, right? For different intended benefit. That means what? Suppose you have some pain or something you want to relieve. Now, if you are in that consciousness, your simple intent helps you to do that. Now, obviously, you can take a very strong route, some personal problems, some bad tendencies, or something where you need people's help to recognize. These are areas, but at the end of the day, everything what you do is creating an effect in the body. Is purifying a body. Sometimes it's creating little conflict. Sometimes it's getting through that, but it's there. You are growing. You are over a point of time. You are coming to an state